You're watching CBS Austin This Morning. Central Texas. Trusted.
You know, we're really sad about it. I think that, we're trying to process, what can we do to prevent this kind of tragedy kind of going forward.
A community shaken to its core now, just over a day and a half after what seemed to be a routine disturbance call. Questions still remain about why a pediatrician was taken too soon. Well, thanks for watching CBS Austin This Morning. I'm John Carlos Estrada.
And I'm Allison Miller. Details continue coming out following that deadly hostage situation at the Children's Medical Group offices on West 35th near Mopac in Central Austin.
Our Jessica Taylor followed the breaking news as it developed late Tuesday night into Wednesday morning, and she'll bring us the latest reaction pouring over into this tragedy. But first, let's look back at what led up to today. Austin police say the SWAT situation ended with Dr. Bharat Nirmanchi killed Dr. Lindley Dodson and then himself. He showed up to the pediatrician's building around 4:30 Tuesday afternoon with what appeared to be a pistol, shotgun, and 2 duffel bags. Before officers could respond, he demanded the 5 hostages still inside the building to tie themselves up, but 4 escaped or were released, leaving only Dr. Dodson behind.
Unfortunately, they found 2 subjects, one that was from originally inside the building, one that was not, both deceased.
Well, police say Nirmanchi, a pediatrician as well, was recently diagnosed with terminal cancer and inquired about a volunteer job at the office just last week, but was turned away. He was a licensed doctor in California and Florida and has family in the Austin area, but it's unclear how long he's been in the state capital. As for Dr. Dodson, she was well known around the area. That's now being seen in the outpouring of emotion from the community.
Jessica Taylor joins us now live outside the Children's Medical Group where Dodson worked. And Jessica, memorials there are piling up with candles, flowers, and loving messages.
Yes, and you can see the makeshift memorial just behind me that surrounds the place where Dr. Dodson spent years treating kids, building relationships with families, and also the place where she was tragically murdered. The space is now full of flowers and signs reading, "We love you, Dr. Dodson." It's just one way people are coming together to remember her. Parents of patients and friends of Dr. Dodson share they remember her for her laugh and her kind spirit. Those in the medical field are also trying to grapple with the senseless act of violence that took place against their colleague. Her former professor remembers her enthusiasm for learning and her contagious laugh. Her murder shocks everyone who knew her, and her professors are trying to find the best way to memorialize her.
I always think about the pediatrician's office, certainly my own pediatrician's office, as a very safe place to be. And to have something this tragic happen in such a safe space where there were children around to witness that it's incredibly sad and it's incredibly terrifying.
Dr. Dodson previously worked for Dell Children's for more than a decade, and the hospital released a statement remembering her as a hardworking and compassionate provider who will be greatly missed. And people are still sharing their memories of Dr. Dodson on social media this morning, and her family says they're grateful for the outpouring of love at this time. Jessica Taylor, CBS Austin News.
All right, thanks, Jessica. Well, as you mentioned, a lot of reaction coming in through social media. Lloyd Doggett tweeting out that one of our most skilled, compassionate pediatricians was lost. The Texas representative knew her personally, revealing that Dr. Dodson treated 2 of his grandkids. UT's Dell Medical School sending wishes to her loved ones and joining others in remembrance. And the president of the Texas Pediatric Society posted a letter on Twitter mourning the loss of Dodson while saying it's ready to support the entire Austin pediatric community and all those affected by the senseless act. That community already getting some help. A GoFundMe set up by Grant Powell, whose twins were seen by Dr. Dodson since their birth, has already surpassed its fundraising goal of $20,000. Right now, more than 500 people have donated, with that total now passing Powell's next goal of $50,000. The money raised will help support the Dodsons and the Children's Medical Group through recovery.
As the community looks to heal its heartache, so too does the suspect's family. In a statement sent to CBS Austin late last night, Dr. Nirmanchi's family offered their condolences and prayers to family, friends, and colleagues of Dr. Dodson. His parents write, quote, "We share your grief for a life so senselessly cut short. We don't understand our son's motives or actions, but feel that the time is best spent remembering Dr. Dodson and her contributions to the world." His parents went on to say, quote, "The consequences of this action will live with us forever and can only hope that faith, spiritual healing, and God's light will guide us through the darkest of this moment." They're now working with investigators on what could have caused this to all happen.
I'm meteorologist Nicole Hartford. Temperatures in the 30s and even the 20s this morning. It's cold across central Texas. We're at 38 in Austin, down to 32 out at the airport, 29 in Marble Falls, 32 in Llano, and then 28 in Fredericksburg. As we go throughout the day today, we are building up cloud cover. So although many of us are waking up clear, that's not the case off towards the hill country already. And clouds will continue spreading across the state today and even into tomorrow and Saturday. Our high temperatures, because of the clouds, the colder start, they're going to stay pretty chilly even this afternoon into the mid to upper 50s.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd planned to speak to you tonight to report on the State of the Union. But the events of earlier today have led me to change those plans. Today is a day for mourning and remembering.
Well, today marks 35 years since the Challenger explosion back in 1986. The space shuttle broke apart just 73 seconds into flight. 7 crew members were killed in this explosion, including Krista McAuliffe, who would have been the first teacher in space. Well, January 28th is also NASA's Day of Remembrance to pay tribute to those who have lost their lives in the pursuit of space exploration. The entire agency is set to commemorate space missions that ended in tragedy. They'll honor the crews of Apollo 1, Space Shuttle Columbia, and the group we just talked about, the Space Shuttle Challenger. Your time now is 6:35. Help is on the way as the pandemic rolls on. The latest on Austin Travis County eviction moratorium, with many living in the state capital still struggling to make ends meet. Well, don't forget your news headlines. Really easy, just right down here.
Yep. Whether you can check anytime over here. We have it up when we're on air and also during our commercial break. It is National Have Fun at Work Day, so maybe find some time to
Party?
It is Friday Eve. We're back after this. Thursday, Friday Eve. Yeah.